Hey guys, so for this video we will be looking at the upcoming 5-year plan for Fiat-Chrysler. As you probably know, last Friday, June 1st, there was a press conference held by the CEO of Fiat-Chrysler Automobiles, Sergio Marchionne. This is probably his last big presentation before he goes off into the sunset and retires. And this date marked 14 years since he had been hired by the company on June 1st, 2004. Whether you love him or hate him, he has done good things financially for Fiat-Chrysler. Their stock has rose up over 10 times during his tenure with the company, and the market value of FCA has gone up from $5.84 billion in 2004 when he was hired to over $71 billion by January 2018, as you can see by the chart. And another thing, he didn't announce the cancellation of Chrysler, like many people might have expected, but more on this soon. So enough about that stuff. This video will be just focusing on what plans Sergio has unveiled for the next 5 years of Fiat-Chrysler. He also did a plan for the past 5 years as well, which I'd actually like to see if it was accurate or not, but I'll do that in another video. So the news was focused mainly around 4 brands of FCA: Jeep, Ram, Maserati, and Alfa Romeo. Going forward, FCA will be investing 25% of its funds into Chrysler, Dodge, and Fiat, and the other 75% into Jeep, Ram, Maserati, and Alfa Romeo. So I will be talking about the plans for each of these brands, so if you do want to skip ahead, the times will be in the description below. I know that Chrysler and Dodge is what my channel mainly focuses on, but at this press conference there was really very few details revealed about them. Luckily though, after the press conference, there was a Q&A period where investors and journalists asked Sergio lots of questions, and he did talk about Chrysler and Dodge and Fiat. So the reason why Chrysler, Dodge, and Fiat weren't talked about in the conference is because it was about global brands, and that's not really Chrysler or Dodge. These cars primarily exist in North America, and they aren't really worldwide brands. And another reason was because they don't make FCA as much money as the other 4 brands. Fiat, Chrysler, and Dodge only combine to make up 20% of the global sales from the company, so I guess Sergio feels that they're less important. But still, as I said, he did talk about them in his Q&A period. So as for Chrysler, as I said earlier, it is not going anywhere, contrary to rumors, but they will be going in a new direction, so they'll likely be only sold in North America in the upcoming years, and there will be a focus on vans and possibly a crossover. So the Pacifica and Pacifica Hybrid are doing well. Currently, that's their vans, selling around 50,000 a year in the US, and they will also be releasing 1 or 2 crossover models to join the Pacifica. If you like the Chrysler 300 like I do, unfortunately, its days are numbered because Sergio flat out said that there eventually will not be any cars in the Chrysler lineup. So looking at the lineup now, basically that means the 300 will be out in favor of a crossover. Sad to see that this car will be in its final years. And also every Chrysler model will have a hybrid or battery electric version by 2022. Now on to Dodge. Sadly, there's really nothing to report here other than that it won't be cancelled, so we will have to stay tuned for more Dodge news. For Fiat, there will be an all-electric Fiat 500e, which can get around 112 miles per gallon in the city, and in North America they will be focusing heavily on green and environmentally friendly cars. There will also be a refreshed Fiat 500X coming up in the next few years. Now let's move on to Jeep. There is an expected 9 new models by 2022, with 10 plug-in hybrid options and 4 all-electric models across the lineup, so they're really ramping up investing in production here. This is a chart from FCA, somewhat confusing though, but it does outline the future product plans for Jeep. Some new models include a full-size Wagoneer and Gran Wagoneer, a Wrangler-based pickup, next-gen Renegade, new Cherokee and Grand Cherokee models, a new Grand Commander, and a refreshed Compass model. There will also be a new smaller Jeep in the A slot on the chart, which would actually be smaller and cheaper than the Renegade. And another projected model is a 3-row Jeep called the Low D 3-row. This is basically a bigger Cherokee that can hold 3 rows of seats inside. Jeep also wants to expand on the performance models, so there are more Trackhawk varieties on the way, but we're not sure for which models exactly. But this does mean that the 707 horsepower HELLCAT Hemi could be found in multiple places across the lineup, like in the 3-row model or in the Wagoneer. Almost every Jeep will have a plug-in hybrid option, and the smaller models like Renegade could be fully electric. Next up, we shift our focus to Ram. I've done a separate video on this entirely, and you can find the link in the description, but basically Ram boss Mike Manley confirmed that the Ram Rebel TRX will come to market within the next 5 years. This beastly Ram also has the supercharged HELLCAT Hemi, and this Ram Rebel TRX is going to battle the Ford F-150 Raptor for the title of the most beastly truck out there. It will also help raise the average price of a Ram 1500, because right now Ford not only sells the most trucks out of anyone, but also has the highest average truck price. This is Ram's attempt to do something to close the gap, and many Mopar enthusiasts are already saving money thinking about this awesome truck. Like I said, if you want more details on this truck, I spent 5 minutes alone talking about the specs and visuals in another video. Sticking with the Ram, there will be a Ram Heavy Duty in 2019 and a mid-size pickup in 2022. If we go back a few years, the Dodge Dakota was very popular, but then the market shifted its focus to bigger trucks and the Dakota was gone. But now the mid-size pickups are coming back, and Ram is releasing one to compete with the new 2019 Ford Ranger. Not sure if Ram will be calling theirs the Dakota or something new, but I was a fan of the Dakota, so it's cool to see that something like it will be coming back. Now let's move on to Alfa Romeo and Maserati, both under the FCA brand as well. FCA has high hopes for both of these companies. For Alfa, they want to have 400,000 sales by 2022, while they're targeting 100,000 for Maserati by then. These are some big aspirations, as Alfa currently sells only around 100,000 worldwide, while Maserati is near 50,000. Alfa Romeo only represents 1.2% of the luxury market, and Maserati is at 0.5%, so FCA does have a lot of work to do if they want to hit their goals by 2022. Maserati will be opening 32 new dealerships across North America in an attempt to sell more vehicles. There's also talk about some new cars from these brands. So for Maserati, there's a plug-in hybrid, all-wheel drive, two-door luxury car in the works, which would replace the Gran Turismo. This electric vehicle will be available as either a coupe or convertible, and has a very lightweight aluminum frame, helping it hit a top speed of 186 miles per hour. There will also be new versions of the Levante and Quattroporte by 2022. Under the Levante, there will be a small performance hybrid crossover with 50-50 weight distribution and best-in-class power-to-weight ratio. Another awesome thing is that Maserati wants to release the Alfieri model, which is an all-electric supercar to compete with Tesla. They're claiming that this Alfieri can hit 0 to 60 in just 2 seconds, so can't wait to see if that actually becomes a reality. As for Alfa Romeo, there are plans for a new 8C, a new crossover that is bigger than the Stelvio, and new updates for the Stelvio and Giulia. The last noteworthy piece of news is that FCA has partnered with Waymo, sending 62,000 Chrysler Pacificas to them. Waymo began as a Google self-driving car project in 2009, and the hope is that some of the Waymo technology will be available to retail customers in FCA vehicles. Alright, so that's the end of the video. I tried to cover pretty much everything that was discussed, and I found it really interesting to see the forecasted plans for all the Mopars for the next 5 years. It is just a plan, but for the last 5-year plan, most of the stuff they said turned out to be true. So it looks like there will be a lot of hybrids, electric cars, more power, more models, and lots of innovation to come. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think in the comments section below. What are you most excited for, and what are you not looking forward to? Personally, I don't really love the idea of all the hybrids, smaller engines, and autonomous vehicles from the standpoint of a car enthusiast, but of course the world is shifting that way, and it is important to reduce our carbon footprint so we can continue to live on this planet. I do like all the innovation and new models though, and hopefully there will be many more videos to come as some of this stuff gets released. Thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe for all your Mopar content and news, and I'll see you next video.